Well, everybody, how did you like that audio? That's a new video for introducing eSeniors. Isn't that exciting? So, quickly getting together here, quickly getting going here with the endurance race today. How did you like that audio? That's a good video. A little bit of it. So, getting together. We're doing here. I'll get rid of my face for a second. We're doing race last week. So we're doing a Le Mans endurance. This is a 90-minute race. So that's pretty exciting. And the guys are just starting here on their qualification. So I'm going to quickly go to the standings since we did have the race earlier. Class. We've got Stuart Packham won the first race and Stephen Howells in second, Brian Jones in third. Those are looks like everybody's in their normal cars. Standings anyway for the first race. Let me go to the hypercar. Look at this. Mr. Sarthe finally won a race. Isn't that exciting? Against Brian Murray, who was in second. That is very cool. Steve Young in third, so there's a lot of good stuff going on there. We're going to get some excitement this year if somebody can take Brian all the time. But anyway, that's cool. Let me go to the race now, guys, right away. And again, I'm not going to race the whole race. There is our Le Mans. Now, I don't see any time. There should be some time. So it doesn't look like anybody's got that. Somebody in everybody here. There is Jose. We're going to see some I guess Jose's in a standard livery. John Saunders just put up a time. There we go. 3:27 long laps here on everybody to see their liveries. There's Chris Moses is back. That's fun to see. He's in a LMU or in this is Stephen Howells in his own livery. Nice. Hugo Caballero is next. Another Mercedes. Lamborghini, Brian Jones, and Alexis. That looks like a private livery. There's Steve Young. Sorry, there's Steve Young. Nope, that is Steve Young in his hypercross. Not too many times posted there. Danny Britos. Nilsson, he's back. There is our season 20, everyone. Isn't that cool? There's Brian Murray. Nick Newcomb is in the pits right now in his McLaren. And there is Michael McLennan is in the pits. I'm not sure if he's going to start or not. Somebody said he hurt his thumb, and that is Lee Ellis. All right, let's get to So John Saunders has posted. Let me get to John. There's John Saunders. He's posted lap in Le Mans. Let's find out who is in first place. That is Warrior Scene. And second, 3 seconds back. Wow. Well, of course, it's a long lap. 4-minute lap for the so say hello. Say hello, please. Chat with guys as I'm going. So again, I'm not going to do the whole race because I have other things to do, folks, today. I may actually race this race next week. Go over and over for 90 minutes, but then you got to figure out how to do pit stops and get your fuel selection working. That is something that's a little tougher. Oh, looks like got a bit of a problem. On my screen, it looks like they still got some work to do in their shading. Hovering over the track on this view. Broadcasting anyway. How are we doing in hyperclass? Ryan Murray hasn't put in a good time yet. This Le Mans is such a long lap, so we get some excitement for qualification, I think. Look at that, Brian Murray's only at 5. Let's get on board with Brian. He's trying to get a good lap in here. Testing. Okay, that's a little bit better, I think. Wow, look at this speed, 320 kilometers per hour. Let's see where Brian ends up. We are coming to the last third of the track here. If you don't know Le Mans, I love Le Mans. It's actually fun to race. You don't get much practice on each of the corners. Long laps, 3-minute laps, so you don't get much practice on the corners. And here he's coming up to the difficult parts here. First part, a little bit of a long chicane. You take this corner quite fast, but you got to brake here a little bit. Oh, he doesn't brake, but you got to lift at least. Lifting. Now you're going to have some brake coming up. And the nasty chicane is coming up. There's pit lane entry right here. Let's see how Brian does on this lap. The tough chicane right here. That's the one. And we're coming up to the start-finish line. Hello, Derek. You should be able to hear me now. And Brian comes in just under John Saunders. Look at that. 0.4 of a second. He's going to not bother with that. Let's see how Steve Young does. He should be coming up. He's just starting his next lap. Well, you should be better there, Derek. Thanks for mentioning that. Yes, season 20. Can you believe it? Season 24 eSeniors. We've got a full slate of league racing again. This is an extra race, so now we have 4 races on the week. We have Endurance on Friday at LMU. We have a sprint race. I'm going to try and find, while you guys are watching, Steve Young here and his last lap of quali. Oh, quickly, let's take a quick peek and see how quali's going for. Oh, Stewart's in the pits. So is Steve Howells. No, he's out there. Somebody here. I'll put it on the track with him. So we've got Stewart, Alexander, Howells, half a second back, and we have a big gap to the Hugo, Brian Jones, Nielsen, Britos, and Ed Jones. We've lost Krister. Is Krister in a... I don't see Krister here. Where is Krister? Oh, there, he just jumped up. Only showing the top 8 there or something on that graphic, I guess. There's Krister. He's in 4th place now. Just jumped ahead of Hugo. It's just a little bit better, Krister, or Derek. Let me see what's going on with the game. You there? Get on board in the car. Loud. Put that down to about there. Now my voice sounds better. So it looks like it's better on the my graphic. Anyway, look at that. We have Stephen Howells in his lap. I'm going to put him back on track. Let me see if I can find a graphic here for our races in. I'm sure I can find one for our races in ACC. Let me quickly find that for everybody. Pretty hard to see who's gaining or losing, so that's why I'm not bothering here on this. But I'll show you. Let's go back to the graphic for endurance at least. So this will be the LMU season. We had started with Bahrain, and that was the endurance type track, as a way of putting it. Le Mans next, Sebring after that next week. These are, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a break there. Looks like November 7th for our next endurance race. We're doing a couple of endurance races in between seasons, if I remember correctly now. So that is what's going on. We'll be doing Sebrings, Algarve, Fuji, and Spa in between all our season 21 and sessions, etc. Looks like that's the way it's going to work. So I'm going to find the graphic later for the other tracks. This looks like the end of qualification. So we got Stewart in 1st place, very, very closely followed by Stephen Howells. I don't know if anybody's still out there. Brian Jones is still out there. Krister is in 3rd, so quite a bit of a gap there between 2nd and 3rd. Oh, wait a sec. Stephen Howells 2nd. No, 3rd is Alexander. And those 3 guys have a 1 second lead over Brian Jones, who's in 4th, Krister in 5th. Let's jump over to Hypercar. Everybody's in the pits now. So Saunders, Murray came up into 2nd. Chris Moses is closely followed in 3rd. Then we have a bit of a gap for Jose and Steve Young. Interesting. Steve didn't get a great lap in there. McClellan and Ellis, I'm not sure, are actually racing today. So that's that. Hopefully the system will work properly there for that. I'm going to create, while we're waiting, then I'm going to go back and try and find the graphics for our other races in ACC, so we can do some announcements here. Let's see here. And how did you like, Derek, how did you like the opening trailer? We have a new video that was put together by Cirque Frank and Jeremy Arobas. Of course, the music is Jeremy's, as you know. He is a musician. And I'm trying to find the graphics. There we go. There is the graphic for that. ACC Sprint. Here, we're jumping over here to that right now. Upper screen. This is our season for ACC starting next weekend. Misano, Zolder. This is the sprint dates. Zolder will be next. Donington is our first British track. Gotta throw a British track in there. Laguna Seca on October 13th. Kota, everybody's not favorite. Ricardo, that must be...
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
There we go, getting ready for the race start. Ricardo is France. What am I... Richard, I think. Isn't that what that is? Silverstone and then Bathurst. Oh, ending with Bathurst again this year. Isn't that cool? All right, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this off the screen because we're going to be starting the race soon. And where is everybody? Everybody's still in the pits. Stay with John on the screen. They have weird starts in LMU. I'm hoping I'm not screwed up here. Okay, not everybody has gotten on the grid yet. There is Murray. Saunders isn't on the grid yet. There we go. I'm going to leave it on Brian first. There are the hypercars coming up. The hypercars start first in LMU. I'm hoping everybody knows what LMU is all about. How many people we have on the chat? We have 6. Oh, only Derek's brave enough to send a note. If we've got a few more people, say hello on the chat, please. See who you are. And we are getting ready for the start soon. The race, there we go. It's the timer down there. Is that the start of the
formation
race?
lap?
There we go.
Started.
There we go. On the. Oh, we're not going to do a whole formation lap, I hope. Wow, that's a long track. Start. I think there's something special in Le Mans. There is our starting grid, if I can find a good view. There we go. Saunders, Murray, Moses, Jose Alves, and Steve Young. There he is. In GT3 class, we've got Stewart, Howells, Alexander Rock, Brian Jones, Christopher Guilt. Go Caballero next to him in the black car. Peter Nielsen, Danielle Britos, and Nick Newcomb, and Ed Jones. There we go. There is our starting grid for the Le Mans endurance race. 90 minutes, as many pit stops as you need. As you know, Le Mans LMU is made for endurance racing. That's why we're doing these. So this is the second in the series. Again, we're going to be running these in between sessions. So the next ones are going to be in November. Between our start and finish of ACC and regular LMU. So our schedule is the same as usual. Monday is an ACC sprint, 30 minutes. Saturday is the main championship race, 50 minutes. For GT3, we have the multi-class race on... we have the GT3. There we go, green flag. Let's go. Let's see if there is going to be a change. Saunders, Murray wants to get on the inside. Chris Moses is hanging in there. What about GT3? GT3, look at this. We've got some side-by-side action. Howells has taken over the lead from Packham, and Rosick is trying to get in there. So there is a change right off the hop, but we've got 90 minutes to race, guys. Let's not worry about getting too hyper here in this. Whoa, something happened here. Chris Moses got ahead of John Saunders and Murray. I'm going to back this up. I think I can back it up. I'm going to back it up slightly. Yeah, I can. Look at this. Where did that happen? Okay. Chris got ahead of Murray there. Where does he get a hold of Saunders? He had a good hop there on him. And look at this. Wow, look at that pass. There's a lock up behind. There is some excitement for sure. And Moses is just taking off on these guys. Does that mean there's something happening with his setup? There's Brian in an unfamiliar position in third place. Woo. Back here, Jose is trying to take on Steve Young. What is going on here? And he's trying to take a peek. Not going to happen. Back up here in the GT3 class. Everybody's pretty close together. I'm going to get on board with Stewart. And we'll just go through everybody. Krister's pretty close to Alexander. And Nielsen is being hounded a little bit by Nick Newcomb. Nick Newcomb should have some great pace. Getting back to up here. Now we've got Murray ahead of Saunders. He passed him somehow. Let's back this up just slightly. There's Murray. Where does he pass him? It's nice that I can do a little bit of... he passes him right here on the straight. Look at that Porsche do it. Is he going to make it stick in the first corner? Nope. Murray stays there. Oh yeah, Murray's ahead. What am I talking? He's the blue car. Wow. That is exciting. Now, Saunders is going to try to come back, I think. Get on board with him. He wants to make it back. They did a lot of action on the first few laps. This is an endurance race, guys. Getting back to our friends in GT3. Is there anybody close? Brian Jones on Krister. Krister's pretty close to Alexander. That's how things are starting here in Le Mans. We haven't got one lap completed yet. I went backwards in time, didn't I? So I'm going to go back to live here. Got to go back to live. Krister is there. What's happening live in LMU? Well, these guys are settling in here a little bit. There's the top three guys. And Steve Young looked like he had been passed by Jose. But Jose is not back at that position back again. Jose's out wide there. I'm not sure about track limits. And the GT3 class is spreading out slightly. Krister still on top of Alexander. I am going to take a picture on top of my screen here of our Whoa, I'm not watching. What happened to Krister? Holy smokes. Krister. Back up slightly. What happened? That is a big mistake so early on in the race. What did he do? Tried to get ahead of Alexander. This is hit the curb there. Got unsettled just enough. He took a pretty hard wrap there. Oh my lord, my lord. Krister. Getting a little too anxious early. That is going to damage his race for sure. And let's just see. Nielsen and Newcomb are together. Get back up here to the hypercars. Ooh. Saunders is on top of Murray. No, Murray, and Moses just replayed. I have to back this one up too. What is going on here? Looks like Moses might have had some trouble. He was a whole second up. I'm going to back up a little bit more. It's just Murray catching up with him. Look at that. There's behind there. That's Jose and Steve Young having some battles. There's a little bit of an unsettled exit there on top of Moses. This is in replay mode. We're just going to settle in with Murray here. There is Murray. Looks like the tower shows the live action, the live timing, and I backed it up a little bit here just to see what happened to Moses. He's locking up on the corners. Yeah, thanks, Bird. Derek, I should say. Yeah, that intro is amazing, isn't it? I asked the guys to put that together for our streams. Look at this. Murray is just catching up. And he's on the outside. Look at that pass. Beautiful pass. Beautiful pass. Murray definitely has pace. Are they both in Porsches? That Porsche is so quick. They're not both in Porsches. What is... Moses is in a Lamborghini, but that... Oh, look at this. Mr. Murray's in a Cadillac this year. Nice. That Cadillac is quite something, it looks like. Just follow along here and see how these guys settle in. We're going to go back to live action now. Murray's not quite pulling away. I guess he is a little bit. Saunders now is hounding Moses a little bit. Just very early on in the race. Moses has trouble Moses is having trouble on the straights all of a sudden. With Saunders hounding him. Ooh, excuse me. This looks like it's going to be a battle all the way through. We're going to have to check back in. I took a picture of the standings. So if I do come back later on this afternoon to show the ending of the race, we'll see what it looks like. But it looks like Saunders and Moses are having a bit of a battle. Brian's pulled away at a couple of minutes, but Saunders wants to get back at Moses there. Moses had some great start to the race, but now these guys are really trying to get back at him big time. Let's look at the gaps here on this straight to see if that's where Moses is losing his time. Good to see Chris Moses back with us. He's given LMU a crack. I wonder if he's going to be with us in ACC. So back to live action as far as I'm concerned, but look at it, have ahead. Brian is pulling away from these two, and that's why John wants to get through here as quickly as possible. A bit of a straight coming up. He might be able to do it because it looks like that Lamborghini has trouble on the straights. We've got two Cadillacs. Steve Young is in a Cadillac also. Quickly go over to our... let me just keep following this for a little bit longer. I'm looking at the standings there for GT3. Everybody's spread out slightly there. Look for them. Oh, Chris had a little bit of a wiggle there. Coming through the chicanes. The hard part of the track. And then we'll see how Chris hangs in there on the long straights. Jose is next behind Steve Young, but he's fallen back a little bit. And And why am I seeing two hypercars back there? Oh, that's Steve Young and Jose. Those two are still battling it out. Look at this. This is big action here for a. Ooh, we're getting some jitters here on my screen. I don't know if we're gonna hang in there. I did have two crashes earlier. I don't know if you guys are gonna be seeing these jitters also when we get off of this view. That's a bit better. I had two crashes before starting the broadcast here, so having some trouble with. Oh, look at this. So Saunders, let's get on board. He does catch up on the straights. There's another big long straight coming up here too. Let's see if John can get ahead because he wants to catch up to Brian. Oh, Chris had a great exit there. All right, well, let's just stay through these two straights here and then we'll go on to GT3 and then maybe we'll just pack it in. Just wanted to give you guys an understanding of what kind of a class we've got in. Oh, Chris had a little slip there. Is John going to make any headway on this long straight? He's desperate to get ahead of Chris here so he can start catching up with Brian, who's pulled out a 3-second lead. But again, this is an endurance race. It's not a sprint. Here, John, he's catching up. And again, Saunders has a slip. Now Saunders is going to pull away here, I'm sure. He's in a slipstream. Here he goes, takes a look on the outside. There's a long straight to come yet. Chris is blocking him there. That's the one move you get. Oh, I can't get away from this one for a while yet to see how this all ends up. Again, this is an endurance race, these two guys. All right, I'm going to quickly jump over to. Ooh, not yet. Saunders just can't get through. Murray up ahead has opened up a 4-second lead on these guys. All right, now I'm going to quickly jump to GT3, just not to. We've got Steve Howells here. He's got a 2-second lead over Stewart. That is Stewart. And he's got a not very good lead over Alexander. So that's a bit of a battle. Brian Jones is next. Is 6 seconds back. And Hugo, a couple of 3 seconds back of him. Next is Peter Nielsen. Closely followed by Nick Newcomb. Nick Newcomb should have some good pace. And Krister, who had that problem earlier on, is not that far behind Nick. He's only 5 seconds back. And Danny Britos is quite a bit back. It looks like he's had a problem. Looks like he's a minute back, so there's an issue there. So that is our GT3 class. We get on board with Saunders again. He looks like he's laying off a little bit now. All right, so I'm going to pack it in here, folks, on the endurance racing and end the broadcast. So part 1 is over. I may jump in about, let me see here, we've got an hour left, so maybe I'll jump in an hour and see where everybody is, because I do have a snapshot of the standings here that I'll be able to do that. It's 1 o'clock my time. Yeah, I should be able to jump in at the end. Okay, so we're going to sign off for now and maybe pick it up near the end of the endurance race.